I'm EZRAH reporting on the hottest issues and the biggest stories. This is the Manila Times. Things has never been more tense in the West Philippine Sea after Chinese Coast Guard blasted water cannon directly to the Philippine Coast Guard last Saturday as part of their latest intimidation tactics to assert influence in the disputed waters. Armed Forces of the Philippines Western Command in their latest report says that over 400 foreign vessels were sighted in the country's exclusive economic zone. Around 85% of them are Chinese. China is facing growing backlash after the incident, and President Marcos has put his foot down with no intention of moving BRP Sierra Madre from the Ayungin Shoal. OCTA Research conducted a nationwide survey, or Tugon ng Masa, to measure what the public thinks about this issue. Here to tell us more is OCTA Research Fellow Dr. Guido David. Welcome to the Manila Times, sir. Yes, sir. Tell us about OCTA Research recent findings in the Tugon ng Masa nationwide survey on the issue of the West Philippine Sea.
Yeah, so this was a nationwide survey with 1,200 respondents conducted last July 22 to 26. It's a face-to-face survey with a margin of error of plus minus 3%. And we asked respondents how they felt about the West Philippine Sea issue. And specifically, yung tanong namin in Filipino, ano ang mga hakbang na dapat bigyang prioridad ng Administrasyong Marcos upang epektibong solusyonan ang mga issue kaugnay ng alitan sa West Philippine Sea? Yung mga answers were pre-selected based on our research na ito yung mga most likely answers kasi ayaw namin bigay lang na open-ended yung tanong kasi it's usually subject to misinterpretation and we would expect a wide range of types of answers. So medyo nakasilo na yung mga questions into specific responses. And ang pinakamataas, and I should add, yung choices, pwede silang mamili more than one choice sa sagot nila, kaya hindi nag-add up to 100% ito. So ang pinaka-popular response ay further assert the Philippines' territorial rights through diplomacy and other peaceful methods. So that's 70%. So 70% of Filipinos want peaceful methods and diplomacy to find solutions sa West Philippine Sea situation natin. Ngayon, 65% naman. So yung kanina 70%, so it's 7 out of 10. Ito naman 65% of Filipinos want further assert the Philippines' territorial rights through military action. Ngayon, yung military action dito, may definition kami, so gusto kong linawin yun to before I continue. Now, military action is defined in the survey as referring to the expansion of naval patrol and troop deployment in the West Philippine Sea. So hindi ibig sabihin na aggressive escalation of yung situation through military means, pero rather expansion of naval patrol and troop deployment. And then finally, 61%, so I think top three choices, about 6 out of 10, Filipinos said we should modernize and strengthen the Philippine military's capability to protect the country's territories. Again, scaling up the military doesn't mean we will be aggressive towards China, but rather more of defense para hindi tayo nalalayo in terms of yung equipment natin and yung weaponry natin.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir. So military action, meaning more patrols and expand military presence, but nothing aggressive. Sir, I know this nationwide survey was conducted from July 22 and 26 to 26, and this was before the latest water cannon incident in the West Philippine Sea. Do you think there will be higher responses if you conduct a survey now post the water cannon incident?
Yeah, that's a good question. And syempre, we're just interpolating, but I do think the responses will be high, the numbers will be higher And in fact, if we look back a few years ago, mga Filipinos generally didn't pay much attention to the West Philippine Sea issue based on the data. So parang hindi naman ganun kataas dati yung awareness or yung level of involvement ng mga Filipinos. So I was actually surprised to see that it's relatively high. 7 out of 10 Filipinos feel strongly about using diplomatic means. And I'm not surprised din by the result kasi generally we Filipinos tayo we're a peaceful nation. We can see that naman historically. We're not an aggressive nation. It's partly because we're an island archipelago. Wala tayong mga bordering nations. Ang pinaka-border siguro natin would be Malaysia down south. Pero generally, we're peaceful and we like to resolve issues using peaceful means. I expect na baka tumaas yung awareness and also yung sentiment regarding using peaceful measures, and also siguro din yung scaling up ng military natin. I expect na tataas din yan sa responses if we were to conduct it today. But again, this is just speculation on my part or interpolation on my part. We will see siguro next quarter when we have the survey again, we will see kung tumaas nga yung numbers or maybe kung nag-die down yung issue, baka medyo na-settle na, or medyo hindi naman na-settle but medyo mas less aggression. I'm hoping for that kasi ako personally, EZRAH, I'm also a peace-loving person, so I want to resolve issues through peaceful means.
Sir, so I noticed in your population sample, so you conducted this survey not just in one area, but in Luzon, in NCR, in Visayas, in Mindanao, and more than that, you also segregated it via socio-economic class. So there's class A, B, C, D, and E. So, sir, will you be conducting, how often do you conduct this type of survey, especially pertaining to the West Philippine Sea issue?
Yes, our surveys are done quarterly, and they're non-commissioned, although we do have subscribers. And actually, itong breakdown ng by area, we have a finer breakdown. Pero ito lang yung pinakita namin. Just to give you a sample, for ABC, actually, mas mataas, 65%. Mas mataas yung favoring military action. Although, as we said nga, military action means deployment of naval troops and scaling up of military. So sa E naman, pinakamataas 80% is yung diplomacy and peaceful methods. Ganun din sa D, pinakamataas din yung diplomacy and peaceful methods at 69%. By region naman, 84% sa Visayas prefer the peaceful and diplomacy. Pinakamataas naman sa Balanced Luzon and sa NCR consistently. Sa NCR, 71%, sa Balanced Luzon, 69% yung favoring military action. And sa Mindanao, 70% favor diplomacy and peaceful method. So we have a finer breakdown, but we didn't present it this media release namin. We'll just go with what was released. And as we mentioned, we conduct our surveys quarterly. And since medyo mainit tong issue na to, most likely we will be asking this question again. We might reframe some of the questions or go deeper into the issues, but it will depend on the team.
That's very interesting, sir. So Visayas and Mindanao, and also those belonging to the Class D and E, prefer peaceful means to resolve the West Philippine Sea issue. On the other hand, those in the those in the NCR favors more military action, probably because some Chinese vessels were spotted in the Manila Bay for reclamation.
Right. Kumbaga, to add to that, EZRAH, siguro, kumbaga, in terms of threat level, I mean, I'm not saying the threat level is high, but those in Luzon and Metro Manila are probably feeling the threat more than those in Visayas and Mindanao who are further from, you know, the situation. So ganun naman talaga, di ba? Pag malayo ka sa ano, you don't feel the tension, and therefore, you know, you don't feel the urgency, and you will say, nah, yeah, let's go for the peaceful means.
Sir, going back to the questions, which was the least popular response from the Tugon ng Masa survey?
Yeah, there is least popular response generally was shelving disputes for joint economic development of the area. And shelving disputes means in Philippines siguro, you know, hindi na natin isasatabi natin yung mga yung disputes for joint economic development. Although you know, it probably could have been rephrased itong question na to. Pero iting least popular at 19%, so only about 1 out of 5 Filipinos favor na isasatabi na yung disputes, or kumbaga hindi sila pabor masyado dito sa sa pag isatabi ng disputes for joint economic development of the area.
I see. So the least popular response was for ipagsantabi na lang yung differences, and
Yes.
magkasundo na lang, kumbaga, for economic development of the area. Pero shelving,
Yes.
sort of like medyo dismissive siya po, Pero
Yes.
the keyword was joint economic development was the least popular response. Thank you for that, Doc. Other important findings in upcoming surveys, sir?
You know, hopefully makapag-usap tayo ulit. I'll be sharing you some of the other results that we have for this second quarter survey in July. And then, of course, yung future survey namin by the third quarter. And hopefully I'll also share it. I mean, not hopefully, but I will also share it with you. And hopefully we can have some discussion then about those.
Yes, sir. Keep us updated on the third quarter survey on the West Philippine Sea issue.
Yes.
So to repeat, the Tugon ng Masa, the people have spoken. So they are majority of the public wants to assert rights on the West Philippine Sea, but in a peaceful way. And the majority does not want reconciliation or joint economic development. Thank you so much, OCTA Research Fellow, Dr. Guido David. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, EZRAH.